Good morning, YouTube. Hey, everyone out there in survival land. How you doing? Oh, they're frisky. Oh, look at that. Look at them go. Now, these things ignite really quick. See how quick? I just barely touched that. Hey, YouTube. Freedom for Kaz here. Hey, how's everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone's doing well. Hey, guys. As you know, I make a lot of my campfires and cooking fires with Vaseline and cotton balls. And I've had some requests over the last few months to demonstrate how I make those. So I haven't made any because when I usually make Vaseline cotton balls, I make about 30 or 50 or 70 at a time. So it's not very often that I need to make them. Okay, but today I just happen to be making some Vaseline cotton balls. So I want to show you exactly what it is that I'm doing. Here I have my setup, and it's pretty much very simple. I have my Vaseline here, and I have a teaspoon, okay? And then what I have here is I have my pre-sorted cotton balls, and what you pretty much want is you want a cotton ball that's about 1 inch in size. Now, they vary in sizes because there's no real set standard for the size of a cotton ball. But if it's too big, go ahead and tear it in half. Like a few of these I have torn in half. And it's a little bit smaller, but that's still fine. Whoops. It'll still hold enough Vaseline to be effective. So go ahead and sort all your cotton balls first. The next thing you want to do is you want to get another plate over here. Now I've done several cotton balls already. This is a cooling plate, okay? Because you need to have a place to let them cool. You can't just take them from dipping right into the Ziploc bag. You got to let them cool because they're going to be pretty warm coming out of the oil. So this is step 1, preparation. This is step 2, melting the Vaseline. Now you're probably wondering what this can is for, okay? This can is actually an emergency backup system because without this can here, if this tips over, I've got some major problems because you got to remember this is a petroleum product and it's very, very flammable. When you're doing this, you must impose the ultimate care. And because, I mean, essentially this is a flammable oil that you're cooking with, okay? And as you've seen in my videos, it is extremely flammable when it's in the liquid state. And then when it's into the solid state, it's equally as flammable, but when we've got it under heat, you've really got to be careful. So this is like an emergency backup system because if this pot tips, it's not going anywhere, okay? So the other thing I also have is a pair of pliers, okay? And so basically all I really do is I grab a cotton ball, okay? And the reason why it's sticky is because there's Vaseline on the end of the pliers. I just grab a cotton ball, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip it in here, okay? And then I'm going to hold it upside down to have the force of gravity actually flow into the cotton ball itself. So I dip this in there and I'm going to hold it upside down like this. And I'm going to wait a few seconds and then I'm going to let it cool off. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to do this, you know, one-handed. So I'm actually going to set this down. I'm going to turn this one over and I'm going to grab it from the opposite side. Okay? So now you can see I have the one dipped end is yellow and the other dipped end, or undipped end is white. So I'm going to dip this end in there. And I'm going to hold it upside down. And as you can see, the Vaseline flows throughout the entire cotton ball. And you're really not putting a ton of Vaseline in there. And the essence is that the whole cotton ball is filled with Vaseline. And then we're just going to put it on this plate. Okay? And it's pretty much that simple. It really is. It is just that simple. Let's get this one ready here. I'm going to grab this one here on the end. I'm going to dip it in here. Turn it upside down so it flows against with the force of gravity, so it draws into the cotton ball. And then it doesn't take long. I mean, it doesn't take, you know, very long. It's still going to be hot, but it doesn't take long for it to cool off on the cooling plate. So I'm going to set it down. I'm going to turn it around. Grab this end here. That's the dipped end that I have. Now this, you can see, again, you can see the difference between what end has been dipped and what end hasn't. So now I'm just going to take it over here, and I'm going to just, and notice how quick I just barely dab it in there. And that's all that you really need, because the cotton really absorbs the hot oil. And just going to put it on the cooling plate. Now, I probably have about, I don't know, I'm going to guess about 50 cotton balls here. And this will probably take about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to make all these cotton balls. Now, all you have to do is when your petroleum is running low, just add some more Vaseline to it. Now, again, you don't want to use your top-notch pan. Okay, this is actually a pan that I got from the Salvation Army, and you know, it's just it's an aluminum pan. It cost me $1, and you know, it's strictly used for this only. You don't want to use your fine china, or you don't want to use your you know, your best pan, your Tefal nonstick pan. You definitely want to use something that's not your best. And then as far as temperature wise, you can see I have it right between, it says low simmer and number 2. You want to have it just at the melting point. You don't want to have it any hotter. And the reason why that is because it does get on your finger. And if you've got it like at, you know, at 2, 3, or 4 on an electric grill, you're going to burn your fingers with oil. You're actually going to deep fry your fingers. So you want it at a temperature to where it's just enough to melt the Vaseline, and that's all that you really need. And it's actually pretty easy. Like I said, the only thing I say is use extreme caution. I do not hold anyone responsible in case you burn your house down. You know, that's not my fault. Okay, I want to put that disclaimer in there right now. It's not my fault if you burn your house down by knocking over the Vaseline cotton balls. I've been doing this for a while now, and I've never really ran into any problems as far as knocking stuff over, as long as you take the precautions, and I strongly suggest that you do. But that's it. It's actually pretty easy to make Vaseline cotton balls, and on average they burn about 5 minutes when you want to start a fire.